Hello, hello, hello. Are we here? Are we live? Can you hear me? Oh, we made it. We made it. We made it just in time. Woo! It was a bit of a rush to get home from work, but we are here. Oh, the question is, did you miss me? Did you miss me earlier on with FP1? I hope you did. I hope you realise you don't know what you have until it's gone. Oh, yes. Monaco Grand Prix. I was getting withdrawal symptoms earlier, guys. I was getting withdrawal symptoms. I hope you're well. Hope you're very well. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. And good night to some of you. Hello. I'm very well, Leo. I'm very well. Yes, we are back for Monaco Grand Prix weekend. I missed FP1. I got called into work. I normally work from home on a Fridays, but yeah, we had an important meeting that I had to be in attendance for, which I wasn't too happy about. But hey ho, my day job, still got to pay the bills. That's the main source of income here. This channel is not my sole income yet. So yeah, if you want to make sure I don't miss any sessions moving forward, hit the subscribe button and join as a member, because yeah, it'd be greatly appreciated. But welcome everyone, hope you're good. Getting used to watching F1 with this view and commentary. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys for tuning back in. This guy's a hero. Oh, I'm not a hero, God, by any means, but I'm a student, too broke to watch F1. This guy saved you. Thank you. Well, hopefully I've changed your viewing experience, guys. As I said, I don't really watch F1 through the TV coverage anymore. It made me realise when I had it on my phone at work earlier on. As pit light, green exit is green light. Sorry, pit exit is open. Mixing up the sentence there. As FP2 is underway here at Monaco, I realised once again how much I miss and how much they don't display the data. I mean, the fact of that you watch practice and they don't have the times constantly on the timing tower, like that time's done, is super frustrating. But hey ho, hey ho. But thank you for the kind words, guys. Thank you for the kind words. Do not fear, I will not be missing any more sessions throughout the duration of this weekend. So FP1 was a once off for this weekend. So yes, here we go. But I did catch this morning, guys. Good to see you, Anthony. Good to see you, Leo. Welcome everyone. I did catch this morning Stroll doing very Stroll things. Although, in fairness to Lance Stroll, it wasn't his fault to an extent. The radio message apparently did not come through from his engineer. That's what they're saying anyway, and he moved straight back into the path, of course. What's his name? Charles Leclerc. So, which Charles Leclerc coincidentally topped at this morning. Although I did read, prove me if I'm wrong, guys, Lewis Hamilton was going super quick in a number of sectors, but he couldn't get all of those sectors in one go because of traffic. So that's the case. That's what can happen. So even so, boding very well for Ferrari, I think you could say. They look pretty decent here. Lots of teams running last year's spec as well, spec parts. So rear wings, front wings as an example. So yeah, interesting here at Monaco. And of course, we have that 2-stop mandatory pit stop that I'm really looking forward to. Do I think Stroll deserved the one-place grid penalty? Yes, yeah. Even though it's not his fault per se, it's the same down to the team. Like the engineers, it's a team sport, and the engineers need to be relaying that information sufficiently. And if they're not doing that, then yeah, it can end up in big crashes like that. So you watch practice with another stream and you miss my commentary the entire time. Thank you, Han. That's what I mean. You don't realise what you've got until it's gone. Trust me, it wasn't by design. I really wish I could have made FP1 for you all. But yeah, still got to pay those bills. Hey Andrew, good to see you, mates. You've been following me since I had 1,000 subs. Oh wow. Yeah, thank you, man. It's been a journey. It's been a journey, but I'm glad we're here. Lewis had a huge hit on a sausage curb at the second swimming pool. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he was he actually turned in a touch too early into turn 16, didn't he? Was it the swimming pool? No, it was turn 16, sorry, into the chicane there, and he was preoccupied with Antonelli, so he just slightly clipped that wall To be fair, hitting the wall probably did him a bit of a favour because it knocked a bit of speed off of him. If he went in there a bit quicker, as Hamilton is going fastest right now, but he's catching traffic once again through that swimming pool section. I'll tell you what, the talk will be about, of course, Charles Leclerc in FP1, but Lewis has looked quick here as well. He's been setting purples from what I saw. So, hey Lee, good to see mates. He deserves a race ban. No, he doesn't deserve a race ban. I don't think it's Stroll's fault. Look, this is the nature of F1 at this sort of circuit. It's a very busy track. It's a short track. The cars are massive. And one slight lacks of misjudgment from the team, from the drivers, can be very costly. And Lance Stroll suffered suspension damage for that. So he suffered in his own right, not being able to participate in the remainder of FP1. And Charles Leclerc, thankfully, it was just front wing damage that they could replace. But still, we made it, Bongani. Yes, yeah, we're back, man. We're back. Oh, I was like, I got off the train. I kid you not. I got off the train like less than 15 minutes ago. I got off the train at 10:02. So I think this is the quickest I've ever set up a stream before. Shows you how many times I've been doing this, but I know exactly where I want to position everything on screen. So, Verstappen does not deserve a lifetime ban, Dan. Look, you can dislike drivers, that's fine, but you stayed loyal, missed FP1 as you don't enjoy other watch-alongs. So I appreciate it, Ashley. Good to see you, as Lando's going quickest in the middle sector. So it's going to be tricky to see true pace of teams, guys, with how busy the track is. Of course, they don't want to completely use all their C6 tyres either. We do maybe predict that the hard compound tyre may be... I personally presume that the hard compound tyre will be the race tyre of choice for many because they just want to go as long as possible. We are a step softer this year as well. The two-stop mandatory pit stop is definitely going to spice things up a bit. And those guys who no doubt are at the front of the grid will want to probably go as long as possible, I reckon. Whereas those at the back may mix it up. So, hey Pablo, good to see you. Tuned into the alternate with 3 times the subs by mistake and lasted all of 2 minutes. Oh, thank you, man. Look, other people... what they do is everyone does things kind of like uniquely, I feel like. There's a lot of copycats out there. But I feel what we do, I don't like to really talk about other watch-along streams. What we do here is unique. I try and make it unique. I hope you guys obviously can like to keep tuning back in. And yeah, I appreciate the kind comments because it makes me realise that what I'm doing is interesting to you guys. And I thoroughly enjoy it. So the top 3 as it stands, Verstappen, Piastri and Norris. The only 3 drivers able to really get decent laps in, you would suspect. But you can see there Leclerc and Hamilton. Leclerc's on the hards, Hamilton on the mediums. We'll keep an eye on any purple sectors that come through. Of course, the medium is last year's soft compound tyre, so that is why we can see quick times. Of course, the C6 is going to be more durable here and longer lasting than what we saw at Imola. The only issue they may have here is getting the tyres up to temperature. That's where they may lack, say, performance, because, of course, Monaco doesn't have very, if any, high-speed corners here. Turn 1 is probably the highest high-speed corner, or sorry, turn 3. Turn 9 through the tunnel as well, but even then there's not really much load on the tyres. So, hey Rod, welcome back, mate. Antonio, good to see you. Who is my favourite driver? Lewis Hamilton is my favourite driver. I've been a fan of Lewis Hamilton since he came into the sports, and yeah, I've supported him since he arrived. I primarily support the Brits. I'm patriotic. As he had yellow for Isaac Hajar. Has he crashed there, or has he gone straight through the chicane? He's going very slowly, Isaac Hajar. That doesn't really seem like there's a red flag, and Isaac Hajar has lost control of the car. Funnily enough, the TV coverage is on board with him now as I'm watching him go through the Mirabeau hairpin. And, well, let's stay on board with Hajar and see what he's done. But that's... what is he? Is he genuinely crashed there? He's come to a standstill, and with 52 minutes remaining in this FP2 session, we have a red flag for Isaac Hajar. What has he done? I'm watching on board with him now, and... oh, he's crashed into the entry of turn 10. He's clipped the wall on the chicane into turn 10, and that is a rookie mistake. It's actually the rear left tyre, a misjudgment from Isaac Hajar, a rare one that we've seen from the very talented Frenchman. Of course, he's made a very good start to this season after that setback in Australia, but with these F1, I'm surprised we don't see this more often, to be completely honest with you, with how wide these F1 cars are now. He's shaking his head, and you can see they were literally on board with Isaac Hajar when they did it. They changed to the camera angle that he's looking like that he's right next to that wall. You know where you see the photographers sit. He's banging his head, and he's just so upset with himself. He's so frustrated, and I totally understand why. The rear, the tyre carcass is off the. The tyre carcass is off the wheel rim. He's trying to maybe get that back if he can, but he might do more damage to the car. He is actually getting that car back. Sorry, as we're watching the icon, I'm watching the TV images more so than I am the actual track map right this moment in time. But that is why there is a red flag, because he did come to a standstill. And yeah, just a lapse of judgment. We saw Carlos Sainz do something similar in Miami, if you remember, in the race through that chicane, where he clipped, the sprint race, where he clipped his left rear on the barrier. And it's just a slight bit of misjudgment from him as he was on a bit of a push lap. So there we go. I agree. I don't know how they drive on the limit with walls on the side. So I'm watching the replay now. They're on board with Isaac Hajar. This isn't really a good image to see where it is, but it's just a slight misjudgment. He's just turned in a bit too early. He's so close to the wall, and yeah, just got it wrong. As I said, I'm really surprised we don't see more of that here at Monaco. There we go. Hajar, your second favourite driver. I mean, the good thing is for Hajar is that he will... So they're watching the... Oh, my God. The marshals are literally standing right next to that barrier. I mean, they could almost lean on it if they wanted to. Obviously, safety would not allow them to do that. But, yeah. Wow. That is some image when you watch that back, guys. But yes, Isaac Hajar bringing out the yellow flag and the red flag quite early here. But thankfully, he's been able to get the car back to pit lane, which means that we should get back underway pretty sharpish once any sort of debris has been collected. But just clipping the barrier there on the entry to turn 10, where we see them get so close to it into that chicane. I can't remember the name of that chicane. Apologies. But yeah, so Isaac Hajar, I think... As long as there's no suspension damage and as long as there's no floor damage, you do presume that he would be able to get back out there. So we'll see. Trying to either watch alongs. The bias is crazy. You missed the no bias streams. Thank you, Jacob. Well, look, I do have some bias. Of course I do. I do have drivers that I prefer over others. However, as what we do here, I commentate on what I see. And ultimately, I want to see good racing. That's it. I want to see good races. I'm an F1 fan, and that's what it's about. I try and be as objective? Is objective? Which is the one where you're like, I need to Google this. I can't remember if it's objective or subjective. Where you're not biased? Objective? I always get this wrong. Bear with me. I try to be as objective as possible, yes. Not influenced by personal feelings or opinions in considering and representing facts. I always forget which of the two. Yes, I always try and be as objective as possible here. Subjective is the opposite one. Subjective is where you do allow personal biases and stuff, I think. Subjective means information or perspectives based on feelings, opinions, or emotions. Yeah, it's the opposite. So objective is what we try and do here, regardless of my personal feelings and stuff. Like I'm a fan of F1 ultimately, and I want to get a buzz out of seeing these drivers go to the limit and go wheel to wheel. So session will resume at 15:15, basically 13 minutes past the hour. So that is, you're talking probably less than 2 minutes, guys. Less than 2 minutes. English with Stuffeyy. I know you don't get this on other watch-along streams, do you? So it makes us unique. This is where we're so different to others. Is the Ferrari shirt coming out this week? No, it's not, Lee. It's stand on the hanger in the wardrobe. So Tifosi, Ferrari fans, you'll be glad to hear it's stand in the wardrobe, okay? You watch. They're going to lock out the front row this weekend now, aren't they? They're going to qualify first and second. Thank you, Ashley. Much appreciated. Has the colour icon of Sizer Albon changed? No, it has. It has got slightly darker. I do agree with that, yeah. They have got slightly darker. I haven't altered that, so I don't know why it's gone slightly darker. I'm actually a little bit surprised that we didn't get another special Ferrari livery here this weekend. Now, we got the images of the suits, which I'm sure you guys have seen the images and my short. But while I like the suit, I'm surprised they didn't also follow it up with another special livery. The white suits with the reds livery, I don't know. I just don't know what Ferrari are doing at the moment. HP have so much influence, don't they, on the image of that car? It's ridiculous. You're too addicted to this channel that you don't watch other watch-alongs. Thank you, Doug. You were subjective about your feelings about missing live streaming F1. That I most definitely was, Malcolm. I most definitely was. What is my top 5 predictions for qualifying? Well, based on very little information thus far, I do think... I haven't seen really enough from Mercedes, I think. I think the Ferraris look good here, and I think we will see the usual suspects, the McLarens, Verstappen, and I think the 2 Ferraris. I think so. Anthony looks like he's just not been at... I mean, from what I saw in FP1, he looks like he's still trying to get up to speed here and build up confidence in F1 around Monaco. Of course, he has driven here in F2 in the past, but very different driving, of course, in an F1 car. Russell, never rule Russell out, but I'm going to go... I think it's going to be a solid weekend for Ferrari. I really do. Commentator's curse. You can clip that up, guys. Oh, thank you, Robert. Much appreciated. It's a very kind compliment, that is. It's very kind of you guys to say that you obviously so much so prefer this stream over others. But yeah, as I said, we keep doing what we're doing here, and we'll be here all weekend for Monaco. And if you are enjoying this stream, guys, hit the like button as always. Hit that subscribe button. If you're new to this channel and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do. And if you've been here a long time and you're still yet to hit that subscribe button, what's holding you back? 75% of you don't hit the subscribe button. From what I see from my analytics. Wear the Alpine merch. I don't want to give more money to Flavio Briatore. I'd rather not give my hard-earned money to that team, to be perfectly honest with you. They're getting enough money as it is from sponsors and Colapinto's backing, you know. Hey, Graham, good to see you, mates. My pleasure. Good to see you. Hope you're good. Who do I have for the Indy 500? Pato Award. It's finally time he's got to win the 500, isn't it? Surely it's time for Pato to win the Indy 500. I'm not wearing the Ferrari kit. It's staying in the wardrobe. Do not fear, guys. Do not fear. What else was I going to say? There was something else that was on my mind just a minute ago. Show my biceps. No, you can go to other streams for that. What do I think about Max playing iRacing with a pink steering wheel and the name Franz Herman? Look, he can do what he wants at the end of the day. Do what he wants. If he decides that he probably got a buy because he needs to be at home for his little one. So, yeah, Lance Stroll also didn't turn up to the F1 movie premiere as well. So, yeah, each to their own at the end of the day. You have to pay extra for the bicep content. That's exclusive membership only content. So if you have to click that join button. Hey, Glenn, good to see you, mates. You're rooting for Schwartzman. Yeah, first rookie on pole position in Indy 500 history, I think it is. Or is it the first driver in like 50 years or something? So, yeah, very impressive. I'll be tuning in when I can. I will be doing the Missed Apex podcast this weekend, though, so I will probably miss most of the Indy 500 because it will start and be in full swing when I'm doing the Missed Apex podcast. So be sure to tune in for that, guys. Hey, Christina. I'm 50 subscribers away from 44k. A bit more than that. I'm 300 subscribers away, pretty much. Glad you don't have a join button, Dan. There are links. There are other ways. I do have a Patreon. But anyway, let's have a look at some lap times here at the moment of what's occurring out on track. So only Sainz and Behrman are on the soft compound tyre at the moment. The C6 tyre here this weekend as Lando jumps up into P2. So Max is the only driver to go sub 113 at the moment. Hulkenberg moves up into P7. Of course, it's a busy track out there as well. Piastri goes in at 3.5 tenths or so quicker than that of Max Verstappen. So if you're able to get a clean lap here, you can put down a decent time as Hamilton finally sets a decent lap with no traffic up into P2. Gasly also the same. Antonelli's going quick. There I was saying Antonelli's been struggling at the moment. If he gets a clean lap as he is making his way through the Mirabeau hairpin down into turn 8, apologies, I will brush up on my corner names for this weekend, guys. But as he makes his way through the tunnels, George Russell goes P2. He should get a pretty decent lap here as he's going to get a clean one as Stroll finally does see a car coming and moves out of the way. His engineer wasn't making that same mistake again, was he? Through turn 12 as he makes his way through the swimming pool, 13 and 14, quick left and right into the corner of turn 15 where you get very close and skim that barrier, and then into Rasgas, which is turn 18, and then obviously on the exit down to the start, very short start finish straight. The only DRS section here, which is kind of pointless really at Monaco, and he goes second fastest just behind Oscar Piastri. So yeah, track starting to ramp up a bit, and you can see Leclerc with a bit of clean air on hards is going quickest now as well with a fastest first sector. So the track is starting to ramp up here. It will do. It will get quicker and quicker throughout the weekend, barring we don't have any rain, which I don't think is forecast. And you can see there Charles Leclerc going for his second race win at Monaco in a row. Of course, last year arguably winning the most boring race in F1 history, but he wouldn't have cared, getting that monkey off his back and finally winning his home race. And well, will it be 2 times in a row as he crosses the finish line and goes fastest by 4 tenths? Oh my goodness. We'll keep an eye on Piastri as he's going again. Oh, yellow flag as Piastri's just gone straight on, probably down into turn 1. I don't think he's gone into the barrier. We'll see. Oh, it is a red flag as Oscar Piastri has indeed crashed. Normally that indicates that he's gone on through the escape road of turn 1, but no, he has indeed gone into the barrier. Let's see and watch the replay of what has occurred with Oscar Piastri. He was following the toe, the dirty air of Charles Leclerc, and no doubt he's probably just locked up and gone straight. Oh no, he's gone. He's got going again. He's got going again. So let's see what occurred. Oh, he does go straight on into the barrier. He is okay. It's just front wing damage. Big lockup into the barriers. That is the Armco barriers. He got moving straight away again. But yes, literally just full pelt into the barrier. His front wing is completely off and wedged in that Armco, and well, just maybe getting caught out there by the toe and the dirty air of Charles Leclerc there, but that's not very good. Another front wing lost for a top team. Charles Leclerc lost one in FP1, of course, with Lance Stroll getting in his way, and now Oscar Piastri has lost that. So this will be a very short red flag, guys, once they clear that front wing and Oscar Piastri makes his way round to the pit lane. But yeah, just not able to see that lockup coming soon enough. Really odd there from Piastri. Of course, he's on 7 lap-old mediums at this point as well. So, yeah, just over-egged it, getting caught out by the dirty air of Charles Leclerc. So let's watch the replay here on board with Oscar Piastri. So he's fully DRS open with Charles Leclerc up ahead. And oh, yeah, it just... So he had the speed. The left tyre, the front left tyre, just... Was it? No, front right. The front right tyre just gave way mid-corner. So it was just too late. Yeah, front right just did not bite at all. It just didn't want any of it as he's turning into that corner. So too late for him to bail out at that point. Normally they break. They start locking up a lot sooner than that. So Oscar Piastri, it'll just be a front wing change. Of course, they'll do the diagnostics and just make sure there's no internal damage to that car. But because it's a straight-on impact, it might be... I think everything should be okay. That's Piastri's first crash of the season. Yeah, very unlike Piastri. So, hey, Jackie, good to see you from a very hot island. Yeah, it's warm here in the UK as well. Rain due this evening, thank heavens. You're so happy to see Ferrari doing pretty well here. Hopefully they can put one of their yokes on pole. Well, they do look pretty decent. Charles Leclerc, of course, looking very good. But if you're just joining us, guys, Oscar Piastri has just put his McLaren into the barrier straight on at turn 1. And he lost his front wing. That's why we had a very brief red flag there. His car is okay, made his way round to the pit lane. That's 2 red flags this session. A red flag in every single session thus far. Of course, the first one was for Lance Stroll and Charles Leclerc with that debris from Charles Leclerc losing his front wing going into the back of Lance Stroll with his lack of communication with his pit wall. But now Oscar Piastri, the first kind of driver, his teammate has gone on at turn 1. We have seen lockups there, but the first driver of the big boys, you'd say, to actually go into the barrier. My opinions on Max's chance to win the World Drivers' Championship this season, Adil. I think they're still very high. Yes, I mean, if you looked... Now's probably a good chance to put a bet on Max Verstappen. Now, I'm not advising you guys of how to spend your money, but I will just, for my own benefit, actually, just cheekily check what his odds are at the moment, because he is outside, or I mean, he's 22 points behind. I would presume that Oscar Piastri is favourite right now, but yeah, he's definitely outside, an outside bet, but I think he's a good outside bet. He's staying in it. It's a very long season. Red Bull are going to continue to develop. So, yeah, with this technical directive that is coming in next weekend, guys, of course, we're in the middle of our triple header here. We had Imola last week. Now we've got Monaco. And then next week it is Barcelona to round that off. So, session is getting underway in less than a minute, guys. So, about 30 seconds or so. Hey, Gavin, good to see you, mate. Welcome, welcome. Spice, good to see you. Who crashed? Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri just crashed into turn 1. But he's okay. He's okay. He's lost his front wing and he's made his way round to the pit lane. Given Lawson's performance relative to Hajar, do you think he has a future in F1? I was thinking about doing a video on this, actually. I'm a fan of Lawson. I really want him to do well. However, he really does need to buck his ideas up. I mean, how long have we got until the summer break? I think we've got maybe 4 or 5 races left. The problem for Lawson is that he's not performing. He's being outperformed by his teammate. And the person who is rumoured to be very highly regarded and rated by Red Bull is Arvid Lindblad, who is currently doing very well in F2. So, Arvid Lindblad, the only thing that may stop him getting promoted sooner and maybe a saving grace for Lawson is that I don't believe he has sufficient super license points to step up into F1 yet. So, yeah, Lawson really needs to pull his finger out, to be honest with you. And I hope he does, because mainly because of him being shafted by Red Bull at the start of the season. But yeah, he does need to buck his ideas up very quickly. Red Bull bring Ricardo back? No, he won't bring Ricardo back. Franz Herman. Max, what are you doing tweeting, messaging this watch-along from the pit lane? What are you doing? Oscar definitely will not get nearly as much hate as Lando for crashing because he hasn't done nearly the amount of trash talking and also hasn't been it consistently. Yeah, I mean, I get that. Yeah, I mean, I get it per se, as in, like, I see why Lando does, to an extent, receive more criticism. However, I do think the amount of criticism he receives is unfair, proportionally unfair. But he has said some silly things in the past, as we all have when we were younger. But yeah, I think Lando unfairly gets criticised, to be honest with you. As Max is, oh my God. I know it's only practice, but for me, that is unacceptable. That kind of impeding, it's so dangerous in the swimming pool. He's talking about his own teammate and Nico Hülkenberg there, or Bortoletto, I think it is. Wow. Yeah, Max, approaching into the swimming pool there and nearly went straight into the back of 2 cars. Not a happy bunny, and I totally see why. That was earlier on. It was the last race at Imola. Shame, love the track. What do I think? I'm conflicted about Imola because I feel like last week, I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? We finally kind of discovered, Pirelli finally got it right in the last year of the track being on the calendar. They finally got their tyre selection right. If they'd got their tyre selection right in the previous few seasons, maybe there'd be more of an opportunity for them to stay on the calendar. However, from what I've read and I've seen reported, the reason why Imola isn't staying on the calendar is because they just don't make any money. Apparently, they earned they were 10 million out of pocket. That they have to, like, the fees overall. I think it cost them like 60 million to end up being on the grid, to be on the calendar, and they only made 50 mil, even though they had a sellout crowd for the whole weekend. So yeah, a shame. They lost 20 million. It was something like that, 10 to 20 million, something like that. So we'll replace Imola next season. I don't know. Probably another street circuit, another track that's willing to pay the money. Simple as. This is why we've got European tracks freeing up spaces on the calendar and going on rotation. I did a video on this. I highly recommend you check it out. Noted Behrman, red flag infringement. Hopefully he doesn't get penalised for that. You off? 2 sets, guys. Be back. Just 2 seconds. Just need to say goodbye. Someone.
okay?
Oh no, Mum. You know. Yeah, that was literally that. Oh, sorry guys, sorry. Back again. Just saying goodbye to the La Familia. Oh my God, what happened? I've only been gone 30 seconds and Fernando Alonso's at the top of the timing screens. The most unluckiest driver in F1 history. If you believe his comments. Although Lewis Hamilton, go on Lewis. Go on Lewis. He's the only guy I have bias for, guys, or want to do considerably better than the other drivers. Oh, top of the timing screens at 1:12 flat. Boom. I was saying goodbye to my mum and my sister, actually. They came round to see their lovely niece and granddaughter as Norris went P5 there, held up a little bit by traffic, but Lewis Hamilton there. Fastest with a medium compound tyre, but Charles Leclerc does look ominous, doesn't he? On that hard compound tyre, still only just under a 10th back. But let's have a look. What was fastest lap time last year? Now, we do expect lap times to be quicker, of course. I say this every single race weekend as the cars have got quicker and as we have got a step softer tyre here. So let's have a look. Results from last season. What was the quickest lap time? For Monaco, pole position was, if I stop getting ads, a 1:10.2. So we are still some way off. We're still some way off. We haven't even beaten Q1's fastest time of last year, which was an 11.5. So yeah, still some way to go, guys. You're tipping the next red flag will be Colapinto. Ooh. Thank you, Classical. Much appreciated. Yeah, 7 months now. 7 months. Oh, Hajar's back out there. He is indeed. Yes, so Hajar and Piastri both out there. So while they've had their own knocks, they have both been able to get back out there and still finish this session with just under half an hour to go, guys. So I hope you're enjoying it. We're in for an interesting weekend. I really am intrigued to how this strategy is going to work on Sunday. I really am. It's going to throw up. It's definitely an intriguing one. Let's be honest. We know there's not really going to be any racing. As by the way, Fernando Alonso's going quickest again in the middle sector. Fernando Alonso wants that top spot in FP3. As Hulkenberg goes full fastest. So Hamilton's in the pits. Norris is out on the fresh set of softs. So this is where we're going to see some push laps now, it seems, as Alonso goes to the top of the screens again at 11.89. He wants his moments in the sun, doesn't he, at Monaco? He definitely wants it. Oh, imagine Alonso. Imagine Alonso. I'll tell you what, we're going to see. I think we're going to see a real shocker here this weekend. I think we're going to see someone unexpected win this race. And I think we're going to see maybe a bit of a topsy-turvy podium. Can we expect any Ferrari magic in Monaco? Potentially. The hairline is unreal. It's like the 23 Red Bull. I suppose that's a good thing. You hit the dislike, Tony. Change it quick. Hit the thumbs up. No, thank you guys, much appreciated. 1,500 of you here for the Monaco Grand Prix. It's a very Marmite track, isn't it? It's a very Marmite track. You either love it or hate it. I feel like you don't really sit in between, and yeah, I see why. Right, let's keep an eye on Charles Leclerc, shall we? He's on his push lap here on a fresh set of softs. So Lando is about to start as well. Let's particularly stay on board with Charles Leclerc, of course, looking for his second consecutive race win here at Monaco after getting the monkey off his back last year at his home race. As Antonelli and Piastri move out of his way as he heads down into turn 5, and he's gone fastest in that first sector, an 18.598. The fastest first sectors actually are owned by the two Ferrari drivers. Let's see how they get on as he heads through turn 8 here, and we'll be making his way through the tunnel as Verstappen will be moving out of his way for the Monegascan. as he heads down into the braking zone of turn 10. We've already seen, of course, Isaac Hajar nip the wall there on the entry to turn 10, the chicane. And, well, where has he gone as he makes his way through turns 12? Gasly, his best friend, off track, making it out of the way. And it's a purple sector, sub 34. The first driver to go sub 34 seconds in the middle sector as he makes his way through the swimming pool section down into the braking zone of Raskas. And, well, he's only got one more corner to navigate. And, well, this is going to be him straight to the top of the timing screen, as you do suspect here. Sorry, Fernando. As Charles goes to the top and the Monaco crowd go wild. And 11.4, slightly slower. He's second fastest in the last sector by a couple of hundredths to Lando Norris there. As Lando has been... Lando got caught up by some traffic, I think. That middle sector, yeah. Very slow for Lando at 35.5. So Charles... fortunate in one hand to get a lap in, a push lap in on a practice session, but he's put 6 attempts there on his teammate as Hamilton is now going to do his first lap on a set of C6s. Let's see how Hamilton will get on here. Now, he did look very quick in FP1, but he wasn't able to get a clean lap in. If you've seen the images, nearly went into the back of Kimi Antonelli as he flew over the curb and got some proper airtime through turn 16, which an F1 car is not like a rally car. It's not designed to travel in the air. Doesn't have the suspension for it and the ground clearance. What a Norris win. Would love to see Hamilton get his first Ferrari if coming. Last year, Hajar F2 reaction time in the tunnel. That reaction time from Isaac Hajar in the tunnel was absolutely insane. But lots of green sectors going on the board now as we're starting to see drivers get a couple of clean sectors in. Will they be able to get clean full laps in though? We will see. But you do suspect that even on these C6s, you probably can still go quicker on your second lap. But we'll keep an eye on Lewis Hamilton though. And 18.698. So he was a 10th down on his teammate in the first sector, but it's still a PB for Lewis in that first sector. But he's about to approach a bit of traffic here, and I think Lewis has just slowed down. I think through turn 7 and backed off, unless that's just the marker going a bit slow. No, Lewis has backed off. Lewis has decided to back off. So maybe just realised maybe a little lock up from Lewis, or maybe he just realised, you know what? I'm not going to get a clean lap in here. Let's back out of this and save the tyres for another run. As I'm just watching the replay of him now, as he made his way down into turn 5. Did he lock up? Yeah, he locked up into turn 5. So Lewis locked up into turn 5 a little bit. It was like a micro lock-up, but it was enough to put him off and back out the lap and not waste any more time, as Charles has improved again in the first sector, an 18.573. So as I mentioned, this C6 tyre, with Monaco not being that punishing on the tyres, which is why we've had to have really an introduction of a 2-stop strategy here this weekend. That is why we're seeing this C6, the softest compounder tyre that is possible in F1 at the moment, go quicker even on its second push lap. That was not possible at Imola. So let's see, Charles, is he going to improve here? He's fortunate again, really, to find himself a bit of clean air out on track, as Lewis is going to have another attempt also. As Albon went into P3, signs up into P5. He hasn't done any laps on the softs yet. So let's keep an eye on Lewis and Charles, as Charles is going to cross the finish line now. And Charles goes even quicker, an 11.355. Losing a bit of time in the last sector, but it's still quick enough as Lando goes second fastest into P2. Nearly half a second off of Charles. Let's see, Lewis, has he caught traffic again? Did they get out of his way? An 18.775, so he lost a bit of time in the first sector, Lewis. We'll see if that bit of traffic there affected him as he went down into the Mirabeau hairpin. Max up into P7. Piastri is about to start a push lap, so we'll see how he gets on. Of course, he crashed already this session into the first corner, lost his front wing, but thankfully still able to get back out there. And Lewis has backed out again. Lewis has backed out again of that middle sector. So Lewis not able to hook up a lap yet. I don't think that was traffic from Lewis. I think that was just a case of maybe realising he wasn't quick enough again on that tyre. Maybe another lock-up as he headed down into turn 10. I'm waiting to see if there is a replay of it. But yeah, the Ferraris do look quickish here. The Ferrari definitely in Charles's hands. And I think Lewis looks comfortable as well, but just not been able to hook up hasn't been able to hook up a lap where each sector is together. It's kind of one after the other, really, to be honest. One lap it's the first sector he hooks up, the next lap it's the second, but the first is poor and vice versa. Got decent money on Hamilton, no wins this season. Ooh. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Ferrari front row at this rate. I know. Watching Ollie Behrman and a replay, what happened to Ollie Behrman as he made his way through the... he clipped the barrier slightly on the exit of turn 16 there. So pushing the limits, Ollie Behrman, in that Haas. Of course, looking for a good performance here this weekend. Hopefully, he won't get shafted by the FIA and the red flag. No one cares about Lewis Hamilton. I'd be contrary to disagree with that. I think many people are interested in Lewis Hamilton, just like many people are interested in Max Verstappen. And believe it or not, there are some out there who are interested in Lance Stroll. So, just saying, everyone has a fan. All these drivers have fans out there. But we will cover... The reason I was covering Lewis Hamilton because he was on a push lap. And, well, you can see Fernando Alonso on a push lap now as well. That is where it's most intriguing at the moment because we know race pace really isn't that... It isn't really worth keeping an eye out on, to be perfectly honest with you, at Monaco. It's very much about top speed and how quick you can go. Zach, thank you for joining the pit crew, buddy. Much appreciated. Welcome to the pit crew. If you want to support the channel further, you can do, guys, and hit that membership button, hit the join button. Stroll has one fan, as Norris goes fastest in the middle sector, but he's 2 tenths down, 3 tenths down on Leclerc's fastest time in the first sector. Fernando Alonso's been held up considerably by traffic there as he backed out of his lap. But let's see Norris as he comes around across the start-finish line. Does he get a cheeky little toe from Sainz? And it is an improvement, 11.677, but still 3 tenths off of Charles Leclerc. So the McLaren, I mean, they haven't truly had a clean lap on a fresh set of softs yet, from what I've seen. And we do always expect the McLarens to be quick when it comes to qualifying. They don't ever really truly show their full hands when it comes to practice sessions. Let's have a Yuki Tsunoda update, shall we? Down in P11. Supposedly doesn't have the same... He's had to revert back to an old chassis because of last week's crash in Imola. So that may affect his performance here this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. He's down in P11 at the moment. He has had some decent results here in the past at Monaco. So we'll see how he gets on in the Red Bull this weekend. Of course, he had a good recovery, but Charles Leclerc again is on it, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus, an 18.495 in the first sector. He is on it. He topped FP1. He's looking for the top in FP2 as well. Maybe he wants the Grand Slam here this weekend. He possibly could do it. The form he's on at the moment here at Monaco. Seems to have definitely found a couple of extra attempts, isn't he, in that Ferrari when it comes to his home circuit. Do they have to do their first stop by a certain lap number on race day? No, they do not. They have not told the teams when they have to make a pit stop by. So we could see the drivers at the back just go, yeah, we're changing tyres the first, like we're doing our 2 pit stops in the first 2 laps. Genuinely, that's what we could see. So it's going to throw up some interesting scenarios tomorrow. We could see the top teams just go long, wait for a safety car, or try and pit on the last 2 laps. Oscar Piastri came out of his... He got asked by the media earlier on, and they went to him, what did you think about the mandatory two stop? Like, what have you got? And he just said, all I know is that my head hurts from the meeting I've just come out of. So the strategists, of course, of these teams probably have so many different scenarios, so many different plans. I think we could be making our way for the whole alphabet this weekend, guys. We could hear plan T, plan Z on the radio tomorrow, on Sunday, when it comes to strategy options. Why do home drivers always find an extra few temps at their home GP? The same way that when a football team or your home sports team plays at home and they have the support of the crowd. It's just adrenaline and just focus, and you just get more out of yourself and out of the team than you are away from home. So yeah, that's basically why. Lawson chucking in a sneaky P3 there, by the way. So this is what I mean. We are still some way off of the fastest lap of last year, by the way, guys. Pole position last year was, for context, was a 10.2, a 1:10.2, and last year's FP2 was a 1:11.2. So we're still a tenth off of that. By the way, Charles Leclerc his last lap was 100th of a second off of his fastest lap at the moment. So, yeah, he's going very consistently quick at the moment. But, yeah, good lap from Lawson on those used tyres as well. Anyone else on a good flyer? George Russell's on a good flyer. Let's see if he got past Lance Stroll without any incidents. It seems like he has done. But even George is improving still on a set of 11 old C6 tyres. That just would not have been feasible at Imola. 35.756 in the middle sector isn't quick though, so he's lost quite a bit of time there, and I think he has been held up a bit by Lance Stroll. Yeah, as he comes into the pit lane. So he was held up by Lance Stroll there, which is probably why he bowed out of that lap and dived into the pit lane. Who's my favourite rookie this season? I think some of them have done equally well. I don't have a favourite, but I think Antonelli, Hajar and Behrman have done very well. Now, Behrman has been shafted a little bit, I think, out of some decent performances. Primarily due to the team. Of course, he started off a bit slow, but due to the team not being able to decide which car is going to function properly that weekend, they seem to get one car right or the other, as Lewis quietly there sticks a fastest last sector, the fastest last sector out of anyone, of course, with a purple there, going 110. I told you, I'll tell you what, Ferrari. I'm not doing it, guys. I know what you're all thinking right now. Do not get the Ferrari shirt out of the wardrobe. Don't worry, it's staying in the wardrobe. It's staying on the hanger. I am not bringing it out. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's staying in there. I'm not going to jinx them. If they lock out the front row, I kid you not, there is a curse on that top. It's standing there. What do I think about Cadillac's F1 team entrance? I think it's brilliant for F1. We need more teams on the grid. There's space for more teams on the grid. There is, unfortunately, in the Concord agreement, only space for one more team, 12 teams. But, yeah, there's definitely more space out there. And Cadillac is a team that has money behind them. They have the financials. They're not a team that, like in the past, like Marussia and Caterham, who aren't going to have that financial support. They will be looking to get off the mark quickly, and they'll be looking to solidify themselves as an F1 team, and not a team that's coming in to fight for last place. But it's going to be a tall order for any new team to come into F1. It's been when did Haas join? Haas joined quite some years ago now, so we haven't had a new team in F1, I think, for what, a decade? Over a decade? So yeah, it's been a while. You wish it was named Andretti. Well, that was the problem, supposedly. FIA, the F1 Formula 1 management had a clear issue, personal grudge with Mario Andretti, clearly. Don't know why, don't know what the reasons were, but they had a clear grudge against him, and that's why apparently all they had to do was change the naming rights of the team, and that's what's got them in, because everything, the deal is the same as always. As Piastri is gonna go to the top of the timing screens here, I think. Well, he's a bit slow in the first sector, but we'll see how he gets on in the last sector. He went purple in the middle, and this would be tremendous if he goes to the top. Not bad, not bad. I mean, considering that's on a 10-lap old softs when he crossed the line there. So that's a very good lap time. Interestingly, guys, Lance Stroll is quickest in the first sector. Lance Stroll is quickest in the first sector. Where has that come from? Only just noticed, but did the colours on the icon swap for Williams Red Bull and RB? It does seem that way for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, it seems that they've swapped. That's not my choice. It's not my decision. But yeah, I don't know why that's occurred. Remember, Lewis got to P4, so a good T-shirt to wear on Saturday for sure. Well, it's not going to be a good T-shirt to wear tomorrow if he qualifies P11 and 12, is it, for Ferrari? Because the chances of them winning are very slim. But, of course, with the two-stop strategy, anything could happen. As watching just a bit of backup in traffic there. What's Lawson? There's lots of moaning on the radio from drivers when they catch a couple of cars with traffic. It's the nature of F1 round this circuit, especially with how big the cars are now. You love the idea of more teams and more Grand Prix. F1 is in obvious worldwide upswing. Netflix did wonders. Brad Pitt, you're stoked. Yeah. 30 race. That's the thing. When you think about this, 30 race starts we have in a season now, guys. 30. Because we have 6 sprint races. Wow. Just odd to see Newey in a green Aston Martin shirt. Yeah, it's been so long he was in the Red Bull. Right, guys, hit that like button if you can. We have 12 minutes, just over 12 minutes remaining of this FP2 session. And, well, it's Charles Leclerc at the top of your timing screens at the moment, followed closely by Lewis Hamilton. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. The Ferrari drivers are top of the timing screens. Will that continue throughout the rest of this weekend? Of course, qualifying in tomorrow, the all-important qualifying. I know qualifying is important everywhere at the moment, especially this season. We've had every pole position, even in sprint races, separated by no more than 1/10. Every pole position has been separated by less than a tenth. That is crazy. The levels of performance and how close the performance is of these cars and these drivers at the moment. And I suspect we're going to see the same again on Saturday. And then, of course, we have an intriguing mandatory 2 pit stop race on Sunday to spice things up. Which we, of course, will be here for. We'll be here for everything. As Piastri's gone quicker again, by the way. He's going quicker again, Oscar Piastri. The McLarens are definitely quickest in the middle sector at the moment. He's got clear air out ahead of him. And, well, this is impressive on a set of used tyres here on the softs. Can he pip Leclerc to the top of the timing screens? He can't, but not far off the mark there on 5-lap older tyres at the time, as Charles Leclerc was on 7-lap old softs. So Piastri, McLaren starting to show a little bit more to the pack here, and the paddock showcasing, look, well, this is what we can do on a set of used. So they always give hope before quali, and we know what happens during quali. 2 pit stops, but how many tyres? So they have to... Oh, is it yellow? Why is there a yellow? Someone hit the wall? Is it Hajar again? That's very odd. All drivers are moving perfectly, so someone must have clipped the barrier, or something must have fallen on track. We will see what that is for. As I'm watching... Oh, Isaac Hajar has... Oh my god, that's bizarre. Isaac Hajar has caught... He's caught the... Oh my god, that's bizarre. So Isaac Hajar has basically, what's the right word, advertising over his left wheel. It's now gone, but I think he's clipped the barrier somewhere. And no, he has clipped the barrier, and I think he's nabbed his front left suspension, seems a bit dodge, or he's caught the advertising. It's got stuck to his wheel, and it's causing him issues with his front. He's crabbing. So he's definitely hit the barrier somewhere, Isaac Hajar, for the second time this session. And that's why there's a yellow flag. But I'm yet to see where he hit the barrier. That's very odd. Man, I am so stupid. I think I'm just dumb, is what Hajar reports on the radio. No, you're not, man. No, you're not. I mean, it is the second time he clipped the barrier this session, but yeah, he's definitely done damage to his suspension, and that's why the car is crabbing. Oh no, it's the left rear again. Oh no, it's actually the left rear. I thought it was the fronts. It's the left rear, but the front tyre, the front left. So he's hit the barrier again with his front left rear tyre. He did that earlier through turn 10, but this time around he's hit the barrier somewhere else. And he also picked up a considerable amount of advertising that got stuck to his front left tyre as well. But yeah, the car is crabbing. He's done damage to his rear left suspension properly this time, and that'll be the end of his session for sure. So Hajar definitely trying to find the limits of this Monaco circuit at the moment. W advertising, yeah. We're going to see at least 2 safety cars this weekend. I think it's going to be a busy one. It's going to be a busy one, guys. That's for sure. So I'm still waiting to see a replay of where Hajar actually connected with the barriers. It was definitely through... I got a feeling it was through the exit of turn 8. Oh, no, they're saying it's through turn 1. Is it turn 1? Oh, it's turn 1. He got a snap of oversteer on the exit of the corner, and his left rear snapped into the barrier. That's what broke the suspension, and because of that, his front left, or his front ring, sorry, the front... I love how they've gone, you know when they got the graphic of how close they are to the wall? Isaac Hajar's was 0. But yes, it was actually the front left wing made connection and like slid across the barrier, and that's what took all the advertising off. So yeah, snap of oversteer for the first corner was what did the left rear suspension of Isaac Hajar. The second contact he's had with that same tyre corner of the car on a barrier here in this session. Hey Rob Stick, it's good to see you, mate. Welcome. Hope you're well. Hope your Friday's treating you good. That footage of Hajar in the blind spot of the tunnel in F2 was impressive. It was indeed, yeah. Hey, Crossbows. Yeah, welcome, everyone. I hope you're good. If you're just tuning in, yes, 7.5 minutes remaining of this FP2 session. We have had 2 red flags. If you're just joining us, we have seen a red flag for Isaac Hajar clipping the barrier on the exit, on the entry, shall we say, to turn 10 there out of the tunnel, and he took the wheel off of his left rear tyre. We then saw a second red flag for is it the yellow for Max Verstappen's going slowly there. Has he just gone straight on Max into turn 5? Or has he generally crashed a car? He's got going again. So the icons can be a bit deceiving, ladies and gentlemen, when they go down the escape road. But yes, Max Verstappen there going down the escape road, I do presume, of turn 5. We do often see lockups there, and he's been able to get the car going again. So sometimes it looks like they're in the barrier. And yes, that's exactly what's happened. I'm just looking at it now, and Max Verstappen just went down the escape road. I think this is just a bit of a lockup for him. He was able to spin. He's actually able to reverse the car back out and get back out on track. So, yeah. Oh, hello, George. Yeah, she's trying to keep herself occupied with little one. I'm trying to see exactly what happened, Max. I assume it was a lockup. That's what we see quite often down into turn 5. Of course, braking downhill, the track is a little bit bumpy there. So just watching the replay now as he made his way down. And yeah, just had a micro lockup. He bowed out of the corner very early. Yeah, just bowed out of the corner very early. No smoke coming off the tyre, but he saw it lock up and had the awareness to get out of that corner very quickly. Otherwise, he would have ended up in the barrier like Oscar Piastri did in turn 1. But going back to the rundown of this session in itself, with just over 5 minutes remaining. Yes, Oscar Piastri brought out the second red flag, as we just mentioned there, as he went into the barrier at turn 1 and lost his front wing. He was also able to make it back to the pit lane, and because of that, the red flag was very short-lived. And then we just had a second yellow flag for Isaac Hajar. Again, his second contact with the barriers, but into turn 1, breaking the left rear suspension of his car. So that's no longer Isaac Hajar in this session, as we have 5 minutes remaining. Charles Leclerc is the top of the timing screens. It looks like he will be for the second session in a row here, as Yuki Tsunoda, a yellow flag infringement is noted, so probably didn't slow down enough for the yellows when they were out there earlier. But Leclerc 2 for 2 it seems for both sessions in this Friday. Piastri, P2, just slightly pipping Lewis Hamilton there, splitting the 2 Ferraris who do look very good. Lando Norris in P4, Lawson and Hajar. While Hajar's had his troubles there, he does look good as well. Verstappen hasn't really pushed on any laps this time around, I think. I think they've been focusing on the other tyres. He did go out there on a set of softs, but I don't think, of course, Monaco, tricky to get clean laps in here. I'm surprised Charles Leclerc has been able to fit in so many with the traffic. We've had lots of impeding and lots of drivers on the radio complaining about the traffic, as is the case with these large F1 cars, the largest in history. So, yes, a lot to play for tomorrow. I think the Ferrari's looking good. That's kind of my takeaway from this, is that we expect the McLarens to be good. We know Max always digs deep and they find something in the car in setup or something on the Saturday. We've seen that pattern so often this season. So I am not worried about Max at all. I think he'll still be in the mix come qualifying tomorrow, as he always is. But the Ferraris look like they could be fighting for it. Monaco should be better without the chicane after the tunnel. Yeah, I think the problem is I think the thing about that is that they have to have a hard braking zone somewhere for safety reasons. Otherwise, they build up too much speed. If there was ever to be a crash, with how close obviously the barriers are, and how much possibility there is with obviously the water and stuff, like you could have a real scenario where a car just gets launched over one, and yeah, I can see why. But maybe if the cars were considerably slower, but with how quick they are, it's just a bit too unreasonable. Why is the hard tyre the fastest? It's not the fastest. That is the tyre that Leclerc is on at this moment in time. So it's not the fastest, guys. He did set that lap time on a set of softs. Everyone has set their lap times on a set of softs here. But of course, traffic has got in the way of some drivers' laps. They haven't been able to set quick laps. So there's only so much we can take from this session at Monaco. but there is enough to say that Charles Leclerc looks very good, as he did last year at his home race, going to look for 2 for 2. And yeah, the McLarens also look very good. Question, what tyres was Leclerc using when he got that time? Softs, yeah, the C6s. How long is the Monaco track? I don't know how long it is actually in a distance. I know that it's 73 laps. It's just over 70 laps here on Sunday, because it's quite a short track. As you can see, the lap time is only 1 minute 11. I think it's the second shortest track on the calendar. 3.3 kilometers, yeah. So I think it's the second shortest track on the calendar. I think only the Red Bull Ring... Is the Red Bull Ring longer? Or is it just less lap time? I think the Red Bull Ring might be slightly longer, but it has a quicker lap time. So, yeah. But I think this may be the shortest track on the calendar, but the lap time is just slightly a bit longer than it is at Monaco. 78 laps. Oh, a little bit more over 70 then. But yeah, in that 70 range. So 78 laps. That's a lot of laps around the track with no room for error. Literally no room for error. Apart from a couple of escape roads. So not literally, but you know what I mean. Why aren't they using DRS right now? Because they're not pushing. They're not going for push laps. So they don't always want to use DRS because it can give a false perspective in data of how quick or how comfortable they are on tyres, on fuel load, etc. You don't always want to practice with DRS open because you might not need DRS. You might not have DRS in the race. You may be at the front of a train and you want to feel comfortable with your braking zones and the feel of the car through the corners without DRS. So, Red Bull Ring is about 1 kilometre longer than Monaco. Yeah, I thought about it in my head. I was like, hang on, even though it's a quicker lap time, it definitely looks bigger on the track map. 4.3 kilometres. Okay, so yeah, exactly a kilometre longer. Why is Stroll still in F1? He's a menace on tracks like Monaco. There's one reason for that. Because Daddy owns the team. No other driver in F1 history has had the team owned by their parent, I believe. I could be wrong there. Maybe that isn't a correct stat. But at least in the last 40 years, I don't think, or 30 years in my lifetime, no one's owned a team and had their son in the car. And that's why he's afforded the opportunity that he has done. There's no way Lance Stroll, if he was in a team where he didn't pay millions of pounds or dollars for his seat like he did in Williams and Force India at the time, there's no way that he'd still be in F1. So, look at who he's beating his teammate. I know. 2 seconds. 1. There we go. Checkered flag. FP2 has been finished, guys. I think that was quite an interesting session, to be honest with you. We had 2 red flags. We had a couple of crashes. 2 of them were from Isaac Hajar. 1 from Oscar Piastri as well. And we've seen lots of impeding. We've seen some good laps there from Leclerc, Hamilton as well. It bodes well for both of those two heading into this weekend. The McLarens, of course, still haven't shown their true hand. As we always know, they have plenty of pace in their back pocket. Max Verstappen not able to get a clean push lap in, it seems, by the looks of it. Hence why he's down in P10. So do not be fooled. Sorry, Yuki fans. Do not be fooled that the performance gap is as close as that. Only a couple of thousandths of a second, because it is definitely a lot wider than that. We know Max, if he is having issues with setup and so forth on the Friday, how often have Red Bull turned it around come Saturday? And there we go. That is it for this session. But an interesting one. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm so glad that I got home to make it in time. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do, guys. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow for thingy. Now I've got 2K viewers for free practice. Congrats on the rise. Thank you, Wes. Much appreciated. Yeah, it's really cool to see the continued viewership, guys, each session. And it is increasing. I'm starting to see that, obviously, each race weekend, more and more of you. What's really cool, and I know I say it, what's really cool is that we retain the viewership here. Once you guys find this channel and you find these watchalongs, you seem to stick around, which shows what I'm doing the right thing. So big thank you. Much appreciated. No further investigation for Yuki Tsunoda yellow flag infringement. So probably just saw that maybe he is carrying a bit too much speed and he lifted. So no problem, Frey. Can't wait for the rest of the weekend with my great live commentaries. Thank you, Frey. Much appreciated. Yeah, we'll be live tomorrow. So let me have a look at the sessions because I need to set up tomorrow's tomorrow's streams. I will do that straight after this. So I believe it's a bit earlier FP1 tomorrow. Sorry, FP3. So FP3 is 11:30 UK time. So whatever time zone you're in, 11:30 UK time, and qualifying is 3 p.m. in the afternoon UK time. So yeah, time zone dependent, of course. I will be setting up the stream. Hit the bell button, the notification button, so you're notified before 30 minutes before I go live, so you don't miss the stream to remind yourself. That's the easiest way. Definitely very true. Found this channel a few months ago and I've stuck to the stream since. Thank you, Sav. Much appreciated. Definitely doing the right thing. Yeah, exactly. Be full time soon. Here we're hoping, Lee. We're trying. I'm doing some things in the background to try and drum up some business. If you know contacts and so forth, guys, at people who are in businesses would be interested in sponsoring this stream, let me know. My business email is in the description below, and yeah, that's what we need to try and do this gig full time. So, but I don't miss any more sessions in F1. No more. You'll get every single practice session over a weekend. But yeah. Going to call it now. Out of nowhere, Sauber points this weekend. I think so. You're going to be back racing tomorrow. You'll see if you can make it in. No rest, Taco. If you can't, man, it'll be fine. You think FP3 is like 5:30 AM your time? Oof. Well, if there's one session you want to make it up for, Spice, it's qualifying, isn't it? It's the one session, if you're going to have to miss a session here this weekend, it's one of the practice sessions. Qualifying in the race you want to tune in for. Because I know many will go, Monaco, I can watch the first corner and then I can go asleep and find out who wins the race. But that's not going to be the case here this year. It's not going to be the case with that two-stop strategy. So be sure to tune in on Sunday, as always. Ferrari look good, but if the safety car will ruin their race, they will start talking about having the unluckiest season. Positive vibes, Dusko. You know, manifest a good race for Ferrari. I'm manifesting a good race from Ferrari by not having my Ferrari t-shirt on this weekend. I'm keeping it in the wardrobe. That's how I'm manifesting a good result for Ferrari. Hey Lee, good to see you, mate. It's my pleasure. We'll see you for FP3. Timothy, best watch law, you're correct. Once I found your street, haven't watched anyone else's. Thank you, man. Can we see the times from Ferrari in qualifying? There are no times for Ferrari in qualifying. This is the best lap times here. Let's have a look at the sector times, though. There's no point of checking top speed because top speed is irrelevant here at Monaco. So you can see here the sector times. Timothy, welcome to the pit crew, buddy. Much appreciated. Thank you. Do you know what? I need to... Give me a second. I need to put on the alert box. That deserves the sound. Apologies for that. It should come through. Not sure why I'm not hearing it. I don't know why it's not coming out as a sound. I apologise. But yes, thank you for joining the pit crew, Tiffy. Thank you. Speed traps and sector times. Yeah, we're not checking speed traps. They're irrelevant. But these are the sector times. And you can see Charles Leclerc fastest in the first sector. And then he's in the top three for the remaining two sectors. Lance Stroll sneaky quick up there in in sector 1 as well. But in sector 2, considerably slow. Sector 3, he's like dead last or nearly dead last. It's only Colapinto that is in the way there. We will just show you that, I think. Yeah, there you go. Colapinto. I don't know what happened with Colapinto. He definitely had a session that was definitely interrupted there as he was so far off the pace. Of course, looking to improve on what was last weekend where he crashed in qualifying. But yeah, Oscar Piastri, you can see quick again in the first and second sector. The last sector, a bit slower, maybe lost the grip on those considerably used tyres. He set his fastest lap on a set of 10-lap old softs. So yeah, probably losing a bit of grip there by the time he came to the last sector where you need that rear grip out of turn 18 and 19. And then, well, I'll tell you what, don't rule out the RB cars as well. While Isaac Hajar had a brush with the barriers twice, he did set a couple of decent lap times in there, as did his teammate Liam Lawson as well, who is needs some confidence, doesn't he? Very quickly if he wants to maintain that seat in RB. Stroll murdering his tyres in one corner. You think Franco is just chilling? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened with Franco. I haven't, unfortunately, got the TV coverage in my ear. My headphones actually ran out today. So I don't know what was being said. I only have the TV coverage on my TV here, which I can now directly look at rather than my mobile phone. Is there a safety car? Will everyone just try and do 2 pit stops back to back and then go to the end? This is it. There's so many different permutations that can occur, Guy. I don't know. We're going to have to really have... I'm going to have my work cut out when it comes to commentating on Sunday. Last year, it was challenging. It was challenging. Thank you, Dave, for the sub, and anyone else who subbed. Last year, it was challenging commentating for the Monaco Grand Prix because nothing happened other than what happened in the first lap. So I had to try and keep, obviously, you guys engaged. Not artificially, but even I was thinking, all right, come on. Like, what is going on here? What can I look at on track? And there wasn't anything that really happened, was there, at all? This year, it's a completely different challenge because we need to keep an eye out on what every team is pretty much doing. When are they pit stopping? I'm going to be keeping a keen eye out on the pits. And we did get 14k viewers last year, Taco. Yeah, it was funny because it was the most boring race of the season, yet it was my most viewed watch-along of last year. And maybe I could be expecting the same again here. So, yeah, thank you for everyone who tunes in. And we just got over 43,700 subs. So let's push on. Let's see if we can get 45,000. Nearly a second and a tenth more to the pole lap from last year. I mean, he was on hards. No, Charles Leclerc did set his lap on the soft. So do not be fooled. This was the tyre that he finished the session on. So this first column. So I will alter stuff. So let me move that over because we don't need it now. I'll just move you guys over a touch. But you can see here, these are all the tyres that they've used in a session. So they used multiple tyres this session, or whenever they come into the pit lane, basically, it shows it as a stint. So Charles Leclerc uses hard tyres for quite a considerable amounts. And you can see there that he changed onto the set of hards that he used in the first session, and then he did do 8 laps on the softs. And I think it was his second push lap that he actually got his fastest lap. So are you going to crash out now? What you got really? Look, I'm not taking anything away from you, Tech. Everyone else set their laps on soft tyres. Charles has topped FP1. He's topped FP2. Lewis Hamilton could quite arguably have topped FP1 as well, because from what I saw, he was setting purple sectors. But what happened is that he ended up catching traffic. So there is pace in that Ferrari here this weekend. Be positive for them. But the McLarens do look like they've got a lot in their back pocket. But we know the McLarens, if they're put under pressure, then they can struggle. Both of their drivers can struggle to really put a lap in when it matters in Q3. Piastri is a lot more consistent than that of Lando. So, yeah, but we've already seen Piastri go into the barrier at turn 1. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting quality tomorrow, man. At least my commentary will make it sound exciting. Yeah, look, I think the thing is that, look, we know there's not really going to be any overtakes. I'm okay with that. And that sounds crazy, but I am. Because we have emphasis on strategy. We have emphasis on the pit crews actually doing... Like, they're going to be so under pressure to get that quick pit stop in. And do you know what? Guys, it bodes well for Ferrari here this weekend. Do you know who keeps getting the quickest pit stops every race weekend? Ferrari. Remember only a few years ago how bad Ferrari were with their pit stops. Now, of course, their strategy decision still has a little bit left to be desired, but the actual speed of their pit stops, no longer leaving tyres in the garage, no longer struggling to get a wheel nut on. They are on top of their pit stops now, and it's going to be super influential for here this weekend. It's either going to be a Ferrari pole or McLaren. What do I think? I think Charles, but I wouldn't rule out Lewis. I would say never rule out Max Verstappen. I do think, though, qualifying-wise, I don't think we're going to see any shocks. I think, as in, like, someone not making it where they should do, unless of traffic and impeding and that. Q1 and Q2 is always very important just for the drivers, just to make, like, the drivers you expect to be fighting for pole position just to make it through, because traffic is so bad. Q3 is really when they can properly push. But I suspect at the moment, from what we've seen from today, Monaco isn't the sort of track where you can make dramatic setup changes that are like going to massively improve your car. It's not like other circuits where you can properly find that pace. I think we'll see the McLarens in the top five. I think we'll see the Ferraris, and I think Max Verstappen will still find that time and be in the top five. Haven't seen anything from the Mercedes yet. Don't rule them out, but from what I've seen from the first 2 practice sessions, that's what I think will be the top 5. Is this Piastri's first crash since Zandvoort 2023? I think so. Yeah, I mean, Piastri doesn't crash, does he really? I'm okay with no overtakes. So the reason why I'm okay with no overtakes is because I know what I'm getting coming into Monaco. What I don't like is when I have expectations going into races like Suzuka and certain other tracks where we should have overtakes. Like, I was going to make a video on this. So there's a reason why I think Monaco is... There's a reason why more people hate Monaco now than ever. And it's because... obviously, there's a lot more popularity in the sport. There's more eyeballs on the sport. But because it's lost its uniqueness. Now, it used to be that Monaco, I was okay coming to a race weekend where there was more emphasis on qualifying and there was more emphasis on the pit crew and the strategy team, making the right strategy call. However, what we've seen over the past few seasons is that qualifying has become more and more important. It's a qualifying championship this year. We've seen over the previous seasons tracks become impossible to overtake on, tracks that the racing should be a lot better, primarily due to the cars but also due to Pirelli's indecisiveness with their tyre selections. We saw last week with Imola low expectations. I thought that Imola we was going to get a boring race again, with due respect, and that's why I wanted Max to get into first place at the end of the first lap, which he did, because I thought, okay, from what we've seen, this race isn't going to be that interesting, and the McLaren should have the pace on Max, and it will at least give us an opportunity for a fight for the race win. It turned out to be kind of the opposite. Max was super comfortable, but no one saw that happening, and then the race was still panning out to be really interesting even before the VSC because of the different strategy options. But Monaco has lost that uniqueness now because it is no longer the only street circuit. It is no longer the only track where qualifying truly matters. It is no longer the track where overtaking is impossible, and that's the problem. So it's kind of Formula One management's fault for diluting the specialness of Monaco. However, there's another reason why Monaco is still on the calendar, because I genuinely think the business deals and the money that trades hands across the Monaco weekend probably keeps the world economy going for the next 6 months. I'm sure there's a stat or there's surely a statistic out there that will prove me right there, showcasing how much money and how many business deals are done at Monaco. So there's also the off-track reasons as to why it's still there. And that's primarily, isn't it? It's primarily still there because of the history, because of the money and the glitz, the glamour, etc. Are the current gens really that much bigger compared to the late 2000s? Oh, yes, they are. Yes. Yeah. Big time. You don't know why they don't remove the chicane. We mentioned this earlier, Dusko. The reason they don't remove the chicane is because of the top speed. It's safety reasons. So they get... I don't know what the top speed is when they get down to... I can't see a replay at the moment, but the top speed they get down into turn 10 is still quite large. If they were to continue full speed down into turn 12, you could have an airplane crash, and that's the reason why. Was it Checo who pulled into that parking area and got qualifying stopped and he ended up being pole? He purposefully gave himself too much throttle to spin the car through turn 8. He purposely brought out a red flag because he wanted to be on pole position. So yeah, that's why Max Verstappen was very upset at Checo, and that's why when it came to Brazil later on that year, and they asked him to swap positions, he went no, and was very adamant against it, and that's where it came out that Checo, when you look at the throttle inputs and the traces, he did something naughty. As did Nico Rosberg back in 2016, as did Michael Schumacher as well all those years ago. So, what are my thoughts on Yuki scoring a point last weekend? It was a positive recovery for Yuki. He did have a brand new power unit though. added to the car because of the damage that he caused the day prior. I'm not giving him too much praise because ultimately he benefited a lot from the VSC. He gained a few positions there. He's overtaking cars that he should easily be overtaking. And I said this about Perez. I'm not ever really going to be impressed by a driver who's in a car that can win the race, as Max did, comfortably. And while Yuki, we know, doesn't necessarily have the same parts and that Red Bull is difficult to drive, he still has a car that really he should be able to comfortably get into the points, qualify up there and be pushing for a top 5 while his teammate wins. And Yuki didn't do that. He crashed because he was put into, obviously, trying to get too much out of the car, which is understandable. He was way off the pace of Max all weekend, around a second nearly in every session. And yeah, it's the same for anyone. For all those top boys, I will never rate kind of a drive where they start from the pit lane or they start from like the bottom 5 to where they get into the points. I think that's just like the bare minimum for them, to be perfectly honest with you, in a car that can win the race and just showcased it did win the race or finish on the podium comfortably. So that was always my criticism of Perez when he'd get driver of the day performances for finishing 8th when he's starting from 19th. And it's like, you've overtaken, with respect, like Stake F1, Haas, a much poorer Williams at the time to get into the points. Like, it's not like you've made overtakes on Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes. There are, in general, a lot more overtakes now than 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and so on. No, I agree. And I don't need every single race to have overtakes. I think what we need is at least the possibility of like the race win changing hands, or at least like we want to see battles ultimately. Like it could be, it's not all about overtaking. It's also about defending. And the art of defending is really kind of missed on a lot of F1 fans these days. Like they just kind of think that because the car behind is quicker, that they should get out of the way. Obviously, a lot of emotion comes into it, but trust me, like defending can be just as enjoyable as overtaking when you're in a sim or like racing in real life. And watching it is super impressive as well. A driver positioning their car correctly, making it difficult for the overtaking car, and you're watching it going, oh, how are they gonna get over this obstacle? George Russell and Lando was intriguing to watch for a good few laps because Lando clearly had the quicker car, but George cleverly was positioning his car in places where it was difficult for Lando to get around him. And it was eventually Lando forced him so far out of position into turn 1 that he got that drive down into the second chicane and made the move stick. Docking fees in the marina probably pay all the town's bills for the year. Oh, more than that. More than that. No one should ever rule out Max, but I think Ferrari and McLaren are going to be top dogs here. Max will no doubt throw his hat in the ring, but not good enough. Yeah, so here is also a theory and a logical one, guys, as to why Max may not do well here this week. The Red Bull has not been strong in slow corners this season. That's been primarily one of its weaknesses. If you look back at the tracks where it's done well at, they're all high-speed circuits. You look at the tracks it's done poorly at, they're all low-speed circuits with low-speed corners. And that was also similar to the case last year, where Max finished outside the top 5. So the struggles that Max has maybe right now, it may be genuine pace from the Red Bull right now, because it's just struggling with those low-speed corners. And as we mentioned, there's not a lot you can change in the car, because they're running max downforce already, and they're running track-specific package, like downforce package for MONACO. There's not so much that you can do to improve the car setup through these corners at this track. You're either kind of got a good car or you haven't got a good car at this circuit, to be honest. If we could see what Senna could do with today's cars, yeah. You need overtakes and wheel-to-wheel racing every race. I mean, it would be, in an ideal world, that would be great. Yeah, that would be great. But I don't necessarily need overtaking. I want wheel-to-wheel racing. I want opportunities for the race win to change hands. I want to see battles for relevant positions. That's what I want to see. Top 5 is completely out of reach for Yuki at any track in this Red Bull. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he should finish in the top 5, but, you know, like, he should be comfortably finishing in the point. He should be comfortably qualifying into Q3 each time. He should be comfortably qualifying. Should be comfortably finishing in the top 10 each time. Having a recovery race and making his way back into the top 10 is not that impressive. In a car that has, in the capable hands, I know it's a tricky car to drive, but in a capable hands, it was the same with Lawson. There's not a good enough excuse for a driver to not be at least minimum getting it into the points when your teammate can win with that car. So, or fight for the win in that car. Your track map goes right. I know I did. Yeah, I moved it because of this, by the way. There's no need for the track map right now because of... There's no need for the track map right now because of the session being over and done with, so... why race Lego? They should race World War II. Because Lego's fun. The cars fall apart. That was good fun to watch, actually. But yeah, that's why I think maybe Red Bull won't be that quick here. I'm actually intrigued. What were the FP1 session times I didn't see of Monaco? Let's have a look. FP1. So Max was second. But his lap time was a 1:12.1. And this time around, his fastest time was a 1:12.0. So you're looking at a big improvement from pretty much every team from this session, from FP1 to FP2. And Max didn't improve. What about Yuki? Yuki was a 1:13.2. So Yuki improved. So the question, yeah, there is question marks about their low speed ability, their low speed corner ability, which of course Monaco has an abundance of. So we'll see how they fare tomorrow, because we know Red Bull have been able to turn their setup around and turn their performance around from the Friday to the Saturday. Never rule, of course, Max out, but it could be the Red Bull just isn't suited for Monaco here, as it hasn't suited some of the low speed corner circuits. How many Lego bricks did they say it took to build? Oh, was it like 700? It was something like 750,000 or something, wasn't it? Or 75,000? Maybe I'm either underplaying that or I'm over exaggerating that. It was a lot. No, I'm not. I mean, don't count Max out. Of course not. Don't count Max out. But I'm just, from what we've seen data-wise, the fact Max was down there in P10 and there's only a slight improvement from FP1 to FP2. Maybe there is something to be said about that low-speed performance. But yeah, they could find some pace tomorrow. We will see. Speaking about Hajar, what are my expectations for him? I think Hajar can score points again here this weekend. I think he really can. I think he missed out on Imola, to be honest with you. I think he could have... I think the performance Albon had in Imola could quite easily have been Isaac Hajar's. As Max Verstappen is sarcastically... Max Verstappen was sarcastically clapping one of the Haas drivers because of impeding. Lots of tetchy. Who was that actually? He was impeding. Who was that? Let's have a look. No, it was an Alpine. Apologies, it was an Alpine. I don't know if that was Colapinto or if that was Pierre Gasly. He was sarcastically clapping one of the Alpine drivers as he went past. Colapinto, was it? Oh dear. You're going to go at Colapinto, funnily enough, in Imola as well. Let's change the scene, guys, so you can see my beautiful face. There we go, that's better. Hi. You think softs, hards because of possible safety car and then mediums? Yeah, I mean, normally they only bring 2 hards here. I mean, it looks like Ferrari have already used, or Charles Leclerc at least, has already used 2 sets of hards. So I don't think they're expecting him to use the hard tyre tomorrow. But we'll see. I can't see Hajar finishing the race with the way he's been today. Hope I'm wrong, as I like to go. Yeah, sorry, going back to Hajar, before I saw Max sarcastically clapping himself. Clapping Colapinto. I do think that he could quite easily have had the performance that Albon had in Imola. It was just that, of course, not being able to get a lap time in Q3, which he was super frustrated with. He finished where he started. still a solid performance from him, but it could have been so much better. So definitely a race of what if. Circuits haven't evolved with the cars, big problem. Yeah, and also the tyres as well. I think Pirelli massively have contributed to the lack of racing that we've had. They've been very conservative with their tyre compound selection, whether it be the construction of their tyre and the actual tyres like level of compound we've taken to races. They've been super conservative, of course, understandably. As a tyre manufacturer, the last thing you want is you don't want tyres to blow up because it looks bad on your brand. But they've also not provided to the spectacle of F1 because they've always gone conservative with their tyre compounds, which has provided us too many. The hard compound tyre for the last 4 years has always gone, like, could pretty much do the whole race distance. It's ridiculous how hard those tyres have been, and we should never have hard compound tyres be able to do a whole race distance. So my mic has changed, has dropped, is it? Shouldn't have done. Let's have a look. Down, 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 down. How's that? Is that better? Is that a bit better? I'll turn the volume up a little bit. Should be okay. Can Charles win? I think he can. Most definitely can, yeah. Did they have 3 sets of tyres in the race this time? Yes, so they have to use 3 sets of tyres and 2 different compounds. So they don't have to use each level of compound, but they have to use 3 different sets of tyres with 1 mandatory tyre change, like compound change, basically. So they could start on the medium and then go to 2 sets of softs, or they could start on the soft and go to a medium, then a soft at the end, or use the hard. There's no obligation for them to use all compounds of tyres. Just has to be 3 different sets, with 1 mandatory tyre compound change. As a fan of the guts of 50 years, what I really miss is the noise. Oh my gosh, those cars back in the day were beautiful to listen to. I know we should never hear them again. I know, unbelievable they were. I mean, I will just show you guys that are here right now before we go. I went to Goodwood Revival, didn't I? I went to Goodwood Revival. Goodwood Festival of Speed, sorry. Stuffeyy. Goodwood. And I'll play this for you. Hopefully it doesn't break your ears. This was mega. Oh, hang on. Bear with me, bear with me. Oh, that's a bit too big, isn't it? Alright, I'll turn this down because it's quite loud. So... V8. This is the V10 that gets me. It's the V10. There we go. This is loud, I apologise. Lovely. But it's... Is it... Hang on. You might bring back... This one, the Montoya's car is the one. Oh, it's just Montoya's car. The V10s, bring back V10s. I do partly agree with Mohammed bin Sulayem on this. The only thing I will agree on, bring back V10s. Montoya's car. Woo. Super loud. Super loud. But I do agree that we should have V10s back, but it was just point scoring, him trying to get of course, votes and that in a presidential election year. But yeah, music to your ears. But yeah, there we go, guys. That is it for this FP2 session. I was glad I was able to make it. Sets up the weekend well. Really does set up the weekend well. The Ferrari look on pace. Of course, Monaco, you can always get a team that struggles at other circuits, and then they turn up here and it's like they're like a one-track wonder. And I think Ferrari may be that track. But will it be Lewis? Will it be Charles? Charles definitely topped FP1 and FP2, so he's looking for that back-to-back victory at his home circuit after getting the monkey off his back last year. Never ruled the McLarens out, and well, it seems like Red Bull have a bit of work to do overnight, which we know they've done in the past. So yeah, be sure to tune in for FP3 and hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Thank you as always, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.